Hello. This is Rich Kale here on YouTube, Rich Gen X elsewhere, and it is time for us to return to the Sherlock Holmes and the Secret of the Silver Earring. And yes, I do hope you watch this to the end. Alrighty. Now, we had just finished solving a puzzle, and I think we got the coin counter. Let me see. Yep, okay. Just making sure we got that all right. Now, let's see. Now, let's look at this machine up here.
Fowlett created this device to most likely perfect his invention.
Oh, curious. Oh, and I think... What's this?
Fowlett created this device to most likely perfect his invention.
Okay, and look at this. There's a screwdriver stuck in the windowsill.
Very interesting.
Can I grab it? What's this?
These are old award certificates from automation invention competitions. I need something.
Oh, well, let me look.
These are old award certificates from automation invention competition. These certificates come from different places. He must have traveled a great deal, particularly in South America. I need something.
Alright, let's go over here to the bottom of the bed. Let's see here. Alright, we are at the bottom of the bed. And I can't do anything here. Holmes, you're in my way.
I need something.
Oh, yes, we know. We need something here. Let's move over here. See, okay.
The pillow is missing.
Interesting. The pillow's missing. Why would the pillow be missing? The wash basin. Huh? What's this?
Greasy substance. Very interesting.
Yes, it is very interesting. Okay, and what's this? Is this Fowlett here?
There is Fowlett. He is not tall and appears to be quite obese.
Yes, that's interesting. Alright. I think we should go back to the living room now. All we have to do is get the damn door in our screenshot there. There we go. You can tell this is one of the earlier games. Alright, we're gonna go to the automaton. Well, let's take the coin counter.
I shall select a card to find the logical sequence of what this automaton displays.
Okay, interesting. That's a puzzle.
What cards do you play?
He's got 3 aces.
I need to place the correct card in its hand.
All right. Okay.
What card do you play?
Okay, so we got 3 of hearts, Jack of spades, and Jack of 7 of clubs. Well, there's 3 cards are right there, and the 4 is... Let's try it. Oh, I think I got right. Let's see what the next one is.
What card do you play?
2 of hearts, 7 of clubs, Queen of hearts. Oh, see a Queen of hearts. King ace. You don't have a Queen of hearts on here. Oh! I think I see now. It's like a chess move, I think.
You won.
Oh, what did I get then? What did I get for my prize? A piece of paper. Oh. So what did that paper give me? No. Poetry. No. Horace Fowler. Text about Noah. The first animal came from the shore. It was afraid of the powerful waves. The second came from the valley. It was afraid of the rivers and with vast streams. The third came from the hills and was hiding from the downpour. The last one that Noah welcomed came down from the mountains. It wasn't afraid of water, but it heard the wrath of the Lord roaring. Okay. You know what? I think this could mean that an ark. Was there an ark in the bedroom? I think there was. It was always so much better when you could just go to these. I think that's an improvement with the second, like from the second to the third and the fourth. You could actually walk in the games. Back over here. Ah.
The animals must enter Noah's Ark in the proper order.
Okay. Hence, the poem. All right. The crab. Okay. Next one. From the valley, afraid of rivers with vast streams. Oh, yeah, the deer was in that. That's the deer right there. Okay, the third. Third came from the hills and was hiding from the downpour. Oh, yeah, because that bear was in the picture. Alright. Okay. The next ones don't matter much. I don't think. The last wasn't afraid, heard the wrath of the Lord. And the eagle, I think he was sticking his head out in that one picture.
It is elementary. Someone tried to force this safe.
Oh! Oh my, yes, somebody did. Alright. Okay, letter from Bromsby to Fowlett. My dear friend, as I told you during my last visit, the difficulties between Grimble and my nephew have taken a critical turn. It seems that this ungrateful young man has gained the upper hand, and if he doesn't complain anymore, the foreman and some of the workers are doing it for him. I beg your help. I don't think that young Wyatt is a ne'er-do-well, but his acquaintances here in London have a negative effect on him. Would you kindly tutor him in his studies? Far from the city, I think that in your company he would find real value and would return to the right path. I am eternally in your debt to his poor mother and cannot stop thinking about his future well-being despite his ingratitude. Your friend, Melvin Bromsby. Miller, Simpson, Kirby, at Pollen's case. The court returned a verdict of guilty for Mr. Miller and Mr. Kirby as accessories in the accidental death of Louis Pastagaletti during a brawl at a place named the Inn of the Golden Apple in Dexham on the night of the 20th to the early hours of the 21st of February 1892. Mr. Kirby and Miller have been sentenced to 3 years of hard labor. The court returns a verdict of guilty for Mr. Miller, Simpson, Kirby, and Pollins for the charges of robbery. Said robbery took place at the Inn of the Golden Apple during the night of the 20th to the morning of the 21st of February 1892. Mr. Miller, Simpson, Kirby, and Pollins are each sentenced to pay a fine in the amount of £125 to Frano Pastagelli. Letter from Carcass. Dear Mr. Fowlett, I have personally welcomed the nephew of your friend. This Wyatt Collins doesn't seem to be a bad fellow at first glance, but I think he needs a firm hand. He was hired as a supervisor for the copper mines near the border. I believe that the hard-working way of life that we lead will have a healthy effect on him. Sincerely yours, Grant Sullivan, Chief Foreman. British Embassy. Notice hereby given a British subject. Wyatt Collins was arrested by Brazilian authorities in the region. Oh boy. For the proper interested parties in England, when a British citizen stands accused of a crime and lacks the adequate means to secure a proper local barrister for his defense, since the individuals in question may be subject to a term of imprisonment. If you desire to meet his needs, and another one from the notice hereby given to Mr. Wyatt Collins was discharged. As you were earlier informed, Mr. Collins has been enjoying a half-free order for the past 10 months due to his good behavior and the influence of the prison wardenette, who is a former soldier of Her Majesty's Army. Under the former conditions of his sentence, Mr. Collins was required to remain within the territory. Hereinafter, he is free to leave the country. Draft of the will. According to the wishes of Bromsby, the will is to be written in favor of Herman Grimble, unless he predeceases the testator, regardless of Miss Lavinia's majority. She will be paid a substantial pension during this period. In the event that Miss Lavinia should marry before the death of Mr. Grimble, then she and her husband would exercise control over the Bromsby assets to the prejudice of Mr. Grimble. Regardless, Mr. Grimble would retain his right to oversee the daily operations of Bromsby Enterprises and over any portion of dividends according to his personal investment in the aforesaid business. Find out the information in the legal text about the majority and probable success of the heiress to contest such a document. Oh. My dear friend, I will not be able to pay you a visit next week as we arranged. A terrible revelation has added to my usual worries. I shared with you earlier the boasts of my nephew when he was employed at the cement factory and the accusations he has raised against Grimble. The recent visit of Her Majesty's tax official has done little to lessen these suspicions. The lack of time and perhaps courage does not permit me to reveal Herman's machinations, but I will reveal the complete truth as soon as possible. How could I imagine ever being betrayed in such a way? Your friend, Melvin Bromsby. Series numbers is a code. 111211211111221. That's a tricky one. So what is this code? That's an interesting one. I'm sure we'll find a use for it. Alrighty. That's interesting. Alrighty. Well, let's leave.
Holmes, Murray has just found a key in the garden.
Hello. Interesting. A key in the garden? Well then, let's head out of the house. A key in the garden, but why?
Holmes, Murray has just found a key in the garden.
Oh,
It should be done quickly.
okay. So now I should have a key. Yep, there's this key. Alright, let's go back into the house.
Close.
Oh, damn it. Alright. Alrighty. So this key... This key must mean something. Well, let's try the key on this door. Because this door was locked earlier, I think. Oh. This is the basement.
Watson, over here.
My God, this man is dead, Holmes.
Brilliant deduction. I thought perhaps he was tired and decided to rest under a pile of potatoes, which in turn fractured his skull. Watson, you see everything, but fail to observe. I do not have time for trifles.
Uh-oh.
Oh, really, Holmes? You go too far.
Watson, tell Constable Fletcher to contact Lestrade with all haste. Now, I'd like to look around the house.
All right, Holmes.
Oh my goodness. This is definitely not a good deal. Let's measure these feet.
Size 6.
Size 6. What's this card?
I recognize this handwriting.
Oh, good. I want to see the handwriting. Let's see.
This handwriting is identical to the writing on Monsieur de la Mazardiere's visiting card.
Interesting. Antiquities dealer. Curiouser and curiouser. Okay. Alright, let's click on this. Now we're outside. Yeah, let's double click here. Hello? What, pray tell me this? Well, there's a footprint here, Mr. Holmes.
Footsteps, size 10.
Alright, let's get back over here. Let's see. Let's see. There we go. Let's talk to Fletcher.
The station master assured me he clearly saw Mr. Fowlett board the last train to London. But as Constable Fletcher can attest, the body in the cellar is without question that of Horace Fowlett.
Do you have the station master's statements there in your notes, Watson?
Of course. And be sure that...
It is neither the right place nor the right time to talk about this. We must hurry. I fear if we do not act promptly and with all haste, this second dead body will not be the last.
Oh.
Let us return to Baker Street.
Okay.
It seems to me that we have gathered all of the key elements, Watson. However, before we retire, let's summarize our findings.
Yes.
The questions should be answered yes or no and justified by the evidence or testimony received during the investigation.
Okay. Then let's begin. Did Horace Fowler receive a caller the evening he was supposed to leave? The answer is yes. Alright, and this we can verify. Yes. This we can say. Were all the guests in the ballroom at the time of the shooting? Yes. Okay. Let's see. Development of the scene. So there are strides. Okay. Did Sir Bromsby and his daughter have a good relationship? No, they didn't, and that comes from Grimble's. Because he said that. Was Horace Fowlett aware of problems between Herman Grimble and Sir Bromsby? Yes. And that is the letter Fowlett from Grimble of Bromsby to Fowlett. Wait. Oh, here, this one. Yeah, 11/12/1896. Yeah, I think that was the one it was in. Yeah, I can't look at it now. Was there anything missing from the Horace Fowlett's house? Yes. Alright. The bed is not made, a pillow is missing. Ah! So the gentleman that killed Fowlett disguised himself as Fowlett. Oh, that makes sense. Did somebody enter through the window at Fowlett's house? Yes. Let's see. Let's see the garden. And what else? Well, it's bedroom. And the doors kept closed with a screwdriver. Okay. And that's it.
It is simplicity itself, Watson. We have answered all the questions.
Yes, we have. And now it's time
We shall
to move
examine
on to
the evidence
next
acquired yesterday. A wood trinket, substance from Fowlett's washstand, and the gloves I found at Sherringford Hall.
All right, so
We shall examine the evidence acquired yesterday. A wood trinket, substance from Fowlett's washstand, and the gloves I found at Sherringford Hall.
all right.
Let me study this more closely. A very fine white cotton.
Okay, it's a very fine white cotton. All right. So let's
Let me study this more closely.
on the magnifying lens. Magnifying lens.
I
on
recognize the style of this trinket.
Oh, good. All right.
Let's examine it under the microscope.
Yes.
Greasy substance. Very interesting.
All right. All right.
I could not wait for you much longer. We have but a brief moment to discuss your notes before joining the inspector at Sherringford Hall.
Yes.
Paul Lestrade must have spent a terrible night.
My word, Holmes, even you have admitted that this case is uniquely perplexing and difficult.
Start
You
by
are,
book.
of course, correct. I still have not arrived at a reasonable and definite explanation of these events. You see, Watson, our success lies entirely in our ability to sift through the vast amounts of facts and evidence we have at our disposal and discern which items are of true significance. We
Yeah.
cannot allow ourselves to be blinded by the superficial logic of forced hypotheses. We also must not overlook the trifles, as by their very existence they can destroy the most solid of theories. Watson, consider this. All persons intimately involved with the preparations for the reception knew the precise position Sir Bromsby would occupy on that stage. We must remark that they had this knowledge for at least a week beforehand.
Yeah.
Numerous experts have made much of the fact that the deadly shot was of unnatural precision. We have also learned that Horace Fowlett was a renowned expert on all types of mechanical devices and automatons. Then Fowlett is found dead a mere 2 days ago. These facts give rise to a serious line of inquiry.
I find your deductions quite probable, Holmes.
But how can we explain the guest list with notes? Any probable theory about these events must correspond in all ways, including the smallest of details. Watson, I have a general idea of what you discovered during your return to the Flatham railway station. Please correct me if I get any detail wrong. You learned from the station master that several minutes before the arrival of the last train to London, 2 men entered the station one after another. First, there appeared a tall man clothed as a worker. His hat was lowered to hide his eyes, his right hand bandaged. He took a place in the right corner near the platform. A few moments later, Horace Fowlett came in and sat down on a bench. He spoke briefly with the station master and by all appearances seemed to be freezing. I can add that you have probably learned that the station master began to work in Flatham only 4 years ago. The rest you can tell yourself.
Really, Holmes, you were right concerning the information I received from the station master.
Oh.
When I entered the railway station,
Okay. And at this point, we are going to save the game. Because we have hit a half hour. and then we can figure out how things played out. Now, if you've watched to the end, I thank you, and please give the video a like and even subscribe to the channel. Again, this is Rich Kale here on YouTube, Rich Gen X Elsewhere. Now, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and check out some of the other videos up on the channel. I've done a playthrough of at the time of this recording, 4 prior games in the series' timeline, which is the 5th game release, Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper, the 3rd game release, Sherlock Holmes the Awakened, the 7th game release, Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments, and the 4th game release, Sherlock Holmes Nemesis, or Sherlock Holmes versus Arsène Lupin. I am going to get through Secret of the Silver Earring and then take on the other games that are in the timeline. And once the 9th game is released, Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1, I will take that on after whatever game I'm working on is finished, as that will be the new first in the series timeline. I am also working my way through Aliens vs. Predator, the 2010 release. I am working my way through the Henry Stickmin collection, which is a fun game. I am on the last part of that game, which is completing the mission. I'm trying to get all the endings, all the achievements, all the bios, and there's a lot in completing the mission. I am working my way through, just had a brain fart there, through The Witness, which is a nice, slow, relaxing game to put in the mix of all these games. I am working through the Zork series timeline, which starts with Zork Zero, and these are the original text adventure games with the early entries of that. So there's a lot of reading, and I try and do as much of that as I can. I'm working my way through, I just had a brain fart again, through Gibbous, a Cthulhu adventure, which is a fun little game. You got a snarky cat in there and everything. That's a good game for some giggles too. I'm also working my way through a lot of LucasArts games, and I'm currently working on the Monkey Island franchise. I'm on the final entry of that, Tales of Monkey Island, and I've just started getting into the 3rd chapter of that game. I am working also my way through Call of Cthulhu. This is the 2018 release, and that is turning into a fun little game, and I'm trying not to use any hints or walkthroughs with that game. But again, I appreciate if you subscribe to the channel so you can keep up on this. As of this time, there should also be a weekly Monstrum 2 run going up. And there should also be a weekly reading of one of my fics. I'm actually reading through the Modern Day Casanova, which is a Leisure Suit Larry fic that I wrote. And it's basically an adaptation of the game with appropriate snarky humor. Or I hope it's snarky humor, but it does have humor in it. So we'll save the game here, and next time around when we get to this, we will find out what Watson found out that very night. Until next time, this is Rich Gale here on YouTube, Rich Gen X Elsewhere. Have fun!